working on my debut novel, hoping to self-publish in fall of 2025, just a few months from now. I recently received feedback from my beta readers, and one of the things that they mentioned, which was something I was fearing, was my magic system. So off I ventured into the R&D tunnel, looking up YouTube videos and searching blog posts. Why don't I share what I found?
So my first stop this time around was the king of magic systems himself, Brandon Sanderson. I found lecture notes for his most recent class that had addressed magic systems. Admittedly, I have yet to watch said lecture, but I'm getting there. The lecture and the notes address Sanderson's laws, his basic for magic systems. But I wanted a little more detail. So I dug a little deeper and found 3 older posts on his website, each one focusing on one of the 3 laws. 1. An author's ability to solve conflict with magic is directly proportional to how well the reader understands said magic.
Okay, that's straightforward enough. On to the second law.
Limitations are greater than powers.
A little less straightforward, but still clear. It's no fun when your magic's so overpowered there are no stakes. If you can reverse time to undo the death, it kind of undoes the impact of the death.
No time now for my rants about certain superheroes, nor the handling of time travel in stories.
Aside from avoiding plot conveniences, this law also covers costs and weaknesses of magic. These are the things that make magic interesting. These are the things that can make villains frightening or make you worry for the hero in a tense situation. It's the kryptonite, nosebleeds, and threat of death. Honestly, I could do a whole video just on this, and honestly, I still might. But for now, let's move on.
Law number 3. Expand, don't add. This is definitely the most obscure, hardest to describe.
So basically, from what I understand, this means deepening the powers you have rather than adding more. It means weaving them into your culture and to the society and every other bit of world building that you just spent eons working on.
By the way, if you'd like to read any of these posts more in depth, I will link them below.
Alright, those are Sanderson's laws, but I sometimes like a little bit more guidance.
So I went to one of my go-tos, Writer's Digest. Here I found 2 posts about making magic. The one I found most helpful was part 2, which has 4 main sections, each with questions for you to consider for developing your own magic system. I began running my story through these questions.
Now I'm going to jump in here real quick and give you a piece of friendly advice. Fully develop your magic system before you get to your final edit. I have made this so much harder on myself because I now have to go back into an essentially completed story and kind of reverse engineer my magic system into it to make it work without massive rewrites. And I can't just skate by either because this is the first of a trilogy and the magic system is kind of important in book 2.
Why do I do this to myself? Back to the questions. After a quick brain dump of things that needed to happen, that I wanted to happen, I began answering these questions, including where does the magic come from? Does it have a will of its own? How is it accessed? What does it taste like? Of course, these questions aren't the end-all be-all of your magic system. These questions are simply meant to get your mind going, inspire additional thoughts and ideas. But be careful not to spiral into the abyss.
So after all this, did I figure out my magic system? Want a sneak peek?
My lady, perhaps we should start at the beginning. As you recall, every mage has their own well of magic, and each well is different. Yours is fairly deep, so you can do quite a bit of magic before you start to feel too tired. Much like the mage fire you love to use so much, the flame of your life is connected to your magic, and without enough magic to keep it burning, you will extinguish.
There we go. A very brief introduction to magic systems and how I applied it to my work in progress, currently called Project Celine, title forthcoming. If you have ideas for future story studies or other topics you'd like to learn with me, comment below. You can also find the links to my many social medias, my website, and my Patreon. All that fun stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.